Hi everyone, and welcome to today's DIY tutorial for our Santa Secret DIY workshop for kids. So chances are you're joining me, Maria, the owner of Deck the Halls DIY Studio. We have two locations in Stanley, Wisconsin and in New Richmond, Wisconsin, and you have purchased one of our kits to create at home. So I want to take you through what you'll receive when you create at home, and then the steps for creating the various projects. All of the projects that are offered for this workshop will be shown in this tutorial. So this is the gift box. This is what you're going to, this is what we're going to send kids home with after the in-person workshop, and this is what it will look like. It is a white box. It is put together very well, and we're going to encourage kids to go home and color and decorate this box. So it doesn't need to be wrapped. You certainly could wrap it if you'd like, but they could color it and design the wrapping paper as they wish. This tag, I will show you how we're going to paint it and then add a name to it. So that's part of the tutorial. And then on the back, we are going to encourage kids to write their name, and we will even add the year. And this gift tag will also become a keepsake or an ornament for the Christmas tree. So this is what the kit will look like when it's all said and done. Now, what will you get when you bring it home? So there will be a box full of paint. So for this particular project, this person ordered multiple kits. So if you order multiple kits, you will get one box with all of your supplies and information and instructions to join us on the YouTube, and information on how to use the stencils, because there is a stencil for your gift tag. So for the gift tags will be included in each box. Glue, because you will be gluing pieces together. Sponges, so we have smaller sponges and larger sponges included. Now here's the trick to these. Just take a scissors and trim them off when you're done using that color. Then you can reuse it for more times. These are the strings for the ornaments, for the reindeer ornaments. So those you'll want some hot glue for. And then these are little detail brushes. You'll also want baby wipes on hand, or maybe a damp paper towel, so you can wipe these off and reuse them as well. And then we always put the paint in a bag so that if it spills. Now you'll see that there is some paper underneath, the red paper, because this box will be used as a gift box at the end. I just wanted to make sure all the paint was contained in one spot. So you'll get the paint, the sponges, the tags, the twine for not only the wrapping the box like you saw before, but also if you do order the reindeer, you'll have the twine for that as well. And then the instructions. Okay, let's go through this one. This is kind of how it will look if there was one gift in here. So the one gift for this box is the farm tree, which is awesome. We will put each project in the box. There's the crinkle. This is for the tag. So that's how it all will go in. And then when you're done, after you put your gift in there, you'll just seal it up. All of the boxes will contain their one gift. So let's get started with what projects we have. Okay, so we have this garland, and this garland is 6 feet long, okay? And these are larger bulbs than what the gift tag are, okay? They're larger, so these ones we don't put a stencil on. You get a paint to your liking, and there's 15 of these light bulbs. So when it comes to putting the light bulbs on the string, you're gonna paint them all and then lay them out. I spaced them out on my table, and then I took my twine and I put the twine through, okay? And then I laid it where I wanted it. I want it right here. And I individually just did one loop tie for each light bulb. That way, when I display it on my fireplace mantle, it all the light bulbs stay where they need to stay. So this is one of the options that you had, which is the 6-foot long garland. And we give you all the twine and then the colors that you request to paint it. So you'll see that each light bulb I did tie on. So I recommend laying it out, spacing out how you like it, and then tying each one on. This will go in one of the gift boxes. Another project we have is this chunky frame project. So the chunky frame will come raw. You will paint this. In the studio, we like to paint with baby cloths, baby wipe cloths. So you'll just dip your hand in the paint, okay? And then you're just gonna smear it on like you're washing the counter, okay? I will show you this technique when I do one of these projects for you in a moment. So you'll paint this. It needs to dry completely. These instructions are also on the green instruction sheet that will be included in your box, but it will be on this sheet. Paint this, dry completely. You will take your stencil and you will apply it to this spot or this spot. You get to decide because you're making it. You are going to have a container that includes your clip and a small screw. So you will need a screwdriver. You will once you decide where you want your clip, you will take the small screw, insert it in the back, and you will just screw this in. It is a very small screw and it is self-piercing, so you should be able to, and maybe your child could do this too if you get it started, just be able to apply pressure and you will be able to attach your clip. So that will be in your box as well. When the painting is dry from the stencil, then you will peel it up. And this is just a big sticker, and you will see that in a moment when I do the project. So this is just a big sticker. You peel it up and you'll throw that away, and then you will be all set to go. We also have Rudolph ornaments. These Rudolph ornaments are gonna come just like this in your package, okay? What you're gonna wanna do, and there's a girl and a boy set. What you will do is you will peel off the tape, leaving this on the table. And you'll see that these pieces want to come up because they are small and they are cut out. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to paint these. I'm going to paint an ornament project tonight, but I will show you how to paint them. You can leave them in this spot and take your sponge and dab the paint here so that you don't get paint on the edges. Or if you want to take them out, you can use this tape that was holding all the pieces in. You can take your small pieces and put them on the tape. And you can paint them on here. Okay, so they're all stuck to here, and that is just gonna allow them to not move when you're painting them. Okay, so this is the girl. These are her eyelashes, these are her cheeks, so you might want pink. And then this is her mouth, so you might want a different pink. So maybe you ask for 2 pinks in your kit, or you could blend colors and recreate colors for these spots. You could also use markers if you wanted. And then these are her eyelashes, and this is her bow. And her bow will sit right between the second layer of antlers. So I recommend that once they are all painted, I recommend you lay this all out before you glue so that you know where each piece will end up. For this girl, the bow sits right on those antlers. So it's very important that you lay this out beforehand where you want it before you start gluing. Okay, and then you'll get the two. So you see how she's side by side? Okay, so you'll want to lay this out, and then you will take your glue that is included. It's a small super glue container. You don't need a lot of glue. And you will just run glue along each piece and then put it down, and you will have your reindeer. Okay, and then the boy is right here. He is, all of his pieces are here. His pieces are a little bit bigger, so you might not need to use the tape, but I would encourage you to use the tape if you would like. Okay, for these, you will want to use hot glue to glue on the ribbon. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my glue gun here. When you do this, you can do it however you'd like, but you'll just take the ribbon, okay, and I kind of just pull it together. I like to make a knot. It just gives me something to anchor the glue to. I'll flip it over, and I'll add a glob of glue. Okay, and then you just might want to hold it there for a second because hot glue will dry pretty quickly. It will set up pretty quickly. Okay, and then you will have your reindeer ornament. So we'll let that sit and set, but then you'll have your ornaments. So these are so cute. And if you're making these, have the kids sign these as well. How cute would that be? Okay, such a fun keepsake. I'm gonna set those aside while they dry. All right, I'm gonna show you the tree, the farm tree. This farm tree is pretty awesome. It is 4 individual layers, okay? So you'll paint each layer individually. Let them dry, okay? So you can take a baby wipe and paint this, or you can take one of your sponges and paint this. Let it dry. Let this dry after you paint it, and then you will start stacking them. So it goes windmill, barn, and then milk jug. I would stack it like this before I add glue, and then just to make sure everything looks the way you want it to, because once you add that super glue, you're pretty stuck. Okay, these are fragile pieces as well, so I encourage you to lay them down when you're painting them. Again, you're gonna take very little paint and you're just going to dab. Now, the beauty of these items is they're all laser cut, which means they have burnt edges. You don't need to paint the edges unless you want to. Okay, so you'll take this, and I ran glue along the sides, and I put a little bit of glue in here. Not much, not on every single part, but spots. Okay, and then I push that down. Then you'll grab your barn, do the same thing. I did all the way around the edges, did a little bit on the barn. Okay, and then push that down because you want the barn to adhere to the windmill. Okay, and then I did the same thing here. But the milk jug does not adhere to anything, so you don't need to add glue to the milk jug. Just glue to the frame of the tree. It should stack all together beautifully. Now, if you have a little bit of paint on here, just take one of your colors and run it along the outside so it all blends in, or use a baby wipe and smooth it off, okay? When you are done, this should stand on your mantle, on your entryway. It's a really fun piece, okay? And again, have the kids sign the back if they're making it. All right, so that's that project. Let's get into the ornaments. So these are the ornaments, and then there is the tree, the deer as well. This one is shown with a plaid background, but you could do any background. If you wanted to make this more hunting theme, you could do camouflage in the back, and then the brown deer or a dark or a white deer. You could do orange and camo if you wanted to incorporate those colors. So really, these are up to you. The colors are way up to you and your design. You don't need to add the stencil in the back if you don't want to. These also come with a little easel so that they can be displayed in the house. Okay, so they'll sit nicely on the easel, and those will be in your projects as well. I'm going to paint the Let It Snow for you tonight, or today. This is the snowman. I would recommend using like a pencil tip or Q-tips to do these dots. Maybe you have small buttons at home you wanted to add, but this one is your creativity as well. Okay, let's create this ornament. And we're gonna incorporate all of those things that I've already talked about tonight into putting this one together. So when you get your kit, you're gonna have the 2 pieces. Remember, these are delicate, so you're gonna wanna keep that down. The top or the base is not so delicate, but you don't wanna be rough with it. Now, if you have paper towel, water and paper towel, or baby wipes, this is what the baby wipe technique is. Put a little bit of paint on, and you'll just put all of, I'm just moving that part, just smear it all over. Okay. Kids can also just add more if they would like. Now, because you're not using a stencil on this, if they do a couple of coats, that is fine. We are just gluing. Now, another thing I want to let you know of is just I'm pulling off the edge. I'm not trying to get any paint on my edge because I do like the burnt edge look. So I'm just pulling off the edge to not get paint on. Okay? Now, there we go. Now, you just paint until you're happy. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this coverage. And now I have my baby wipe that I can fold the other way and find a clean spot to wipe off my hands, which is another huge plus to using the baby wipes. All right, here's my Let It Snow. I'm going to kind of mimic the one that I've done before because I really like how the white is on the outline. And then the snowman, he will be a little bit more work. So when you're gonna paint, you're gonna put paint on your sponge. This is too much paint. I don't know if you can see the puddles, but there is puddles on here. So you're gonna take your paint, you're gonna load it, you're gonna unload it. Dab some of it off because you want tissue paper thickness of paint. And then you are simply dabbing. Okay, you're just gonna dab wherever you want that color. In my case, I'm going to do the outline of the ornament in white and the words and the snowflakes. Okay, so we'll dab this, get the coverage the way I want it before I move on to the penguin. Okay, I have covered my outline and my letters and my snowflakes. Now, let it dry and see if you want another coat once you've started to paint over here. Now, this is a little bit more of a smaller work area. So we have included those detail brushes, which I would encourage you to use those detail brushes now. So you'll dip in some paint and then you will just simply paint each of the spots the colors that you would like. Now, you will notice on mine, I did get some orange in there. I will show you how to do that after we paint this piece because this orange is actually on my base piece that I've painted over here, teal. I'll show you how to get that part. So right now, I want you to just use your small detail brushes that we included and paint your penguin the colors that you would like. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about how we're gonna get that beak orange. Okay, once you're done painting this piece, you will want it to dry. You will want your base to also dry. I know mine's a little bit wet, but I am I trust that I can do this. You're going to line up your overlay with your base. And then I would recommend having a very long pencil tip. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. And you're just going to lightly make a circle or the beak shape on your background. Okay, so you see mine in there. You'll then take your brush, and I've actually just used my same brush. I keep cleaning it off. And you'll use your whatever color. I'm going to use orange for his beak, and I'm going to fill in that spot really well. I'm not gonna go too far over, but you can go some over because this is a finished one. You can go some over, but I would keep it close to where your mark is, okay? And then you're gonna want that to dry before we glue. So while my pieces are drying, I wanted to show you the ornament, okay? So this is the ornament tag keepsake. You'll want to paint this whatever color you would like. So I think I'll do this nice teal color. So again, you can do the baby wipe method, or here's the sponge method. I put some paint on there and I'm pulling it off the edge so that I don't get the edges with paint. Okay, you'll want this part to dry, and then you can come back with another color. I'm going to do black. Well, I guess I could do gray because we have white. Because I did have white in this kit. So white and black will make myself some gray to kind of change it up a little bit. Once this is dry enough, you can dab. Oh, I like that a lot. It's kind of different. See a little bit of the white in there. Okay, so now this ornament will need to dry in its entirety. You can take a hairdryer, if you want to speed up the process, you can take a hairdryer and dry this. Just know that do not do anything with the hairdryer or heat once you put a stencil on, because that will make the sticker part, the goopy part, really stick to your project, and then you'll have the goop and all of the stuff that comes with that. So let your pieces dry, and then we will come back and we'll talk about stencils and gluing your pieces together. Okay, let's talk about gluing our pieces together. You'll have your small bottle of glue, and what's nice about this glue is that it has a very fine tip. Okay, and you're just going to put glue in spots. You will have enough to go all the way around. And I'm using a used glue bottle, so I won't have as much glue in this bottle as I probably want. Okay, and I'm just going around very lightly. Make sure you get all of your edges. I'm gonna grab a new glue bottle here. I ran out of glue. Oops, and then I took the top off. So hold on a second. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna run the glue along some of my letters. I would for sure make sure I get it all the way around the outside of the ornament, and then on bigger parts of this penguin, just to get a little bit in there. And then if you see that pieces are kind of lifting or aren't secured the way you want them to, you can adjust that after you put it down. Okay, so then make sure you line it up at the top and on the bottom. Apply a little bit of pressure, let it set, and there you have your ornament, you guys. This is awesome. So cute. Love it. You could paint that easel that is included if you wanted. I'm not going to paint mine, but you could paint it. You could definitely paint it. That would be fun too. So we'll let this sit and dry while we talk about the stencil portion of your light bulb keepsake ornament. So the stencil has transfer tape on the top of it, and these are really small. So what you're going to do is you're gonna bend it back, and you want the white and the blue to separate. Now you can see that the blue is on the white here, so you're gonna push it back down. This is a task that takes a lot of patience, okay? Because you're going to have little parts. So I'm really pulling it back really slow, applying pressure so that those insides of those letters stay down. This is easier to do on a flat surface, so I would recommend doing that instead of doing it on your hand, but I wanted you to be able to see how that worked. Okay, so now this is a large sticker. Do not stick it to itself. You're gonna take your sticker and you're gonna kind of hover and decide where you want it on your light bulb. Sorry for that glare, there we go. Where you want it on the light bulb. Do not apply pressure until it's in the correct spot. I like where that is, so now I'm going to smooth it out. You're gonna stick that sticker down really, really well. And now you're going to repeat the process we did before of peeling up. This time we're gonna peel up the clear, and we want the blue to stay down. Okay, if the blue comes up, you are going to wanna push it right back down where it's supposed to be. Now this next part, I cannot stress enough. First, you're gonna smooth it out, just to make sure it's all down. Less is more, okay? Not a lot of paint. So you're gonna take your sponge. I'm gonna do the name in black so it stands out. I'm putting paint on my sponge, way too much paint. I'm gonna dab a lot of it off. Look at all that paint I took off. I'm gonna take and I'm just going to lightly dab on the name for this ornament. Lightly. There's tissue paper thickness of paint, if less. I mean, this is not a lot of paint at all, okay? There is no puddles, there's nothing, okay? Very lightly dabbing it. You wanna stay on the blue because if you go off the blue, then you're on your ornament. I would recommend just doing one nice thin coat of paint. You will pull up your stencil, and then once it is dry, you can take an X-Acto knife or a paper clip or a tweezers to pull these out. Now, you will see that on Papa right there, I did kind of gouge it. So I'm going to take my very small X-Acto knife. You will peel up your stencil. You may have noticed I gouged Papa a little bit, so I took the tip of my paint on my X-Acto knife, and then I just dabbed to fill in those spots until I was happy with it. So not a lot of paint, okay? Now you are ready to package up your kit to gift. So your box will have the stuffing or crinkle paper in it. Remember, it's always fun if you want to have the kids sign the back. So you'll put that in there. This project does come with an easel, so you'll want to put the easel in there, painted or not painted. Anything else you want to put in there. Okay, and then you can seal up your box by simply folding it back the way it was. Now we're gonna encourage kids in the workshop to go home and color their box to decorate it so you don't have to wrap it, but you can wrap it if you want. And then we will include a piece of red or green twine. You'll start on the top, pull it around. I'm crisscrossing it underneath, okay? And then I'm gonna pull it up. And then I am gonna do one tie, okay? And then I will take my light bulb ornament keepsake and I will thread that through. Sorry that it's not threading. There we go. Thread that through. Okay. Make sure that the tag is on the right side up so that we can read it to whoever we're gifting it to. And then I'm just going to tie a little bow. And there you have it. You have a great gift for a family member, your teachers, someone in your office. Grandma and grandpa will love these. Godparents will love these. So thanks for joining Deck the Halls DIY Studio today. Thank you for creating with us for our Santa Secret DIY workshop for kids. And we'll see you next time. Be sure to share on Facebook and Instagram. We would love to see your creative projects.